we recite the council prayer. Dear God, today as this session opens, we pray that your presence will be before us and everyone who serves in the decision-making process of our city. We pray for direction, which will lead our city to be strong and unified. May we continue the legacy of our founders. May we be granted this day the wisdom to make decisions which will be for the good of our city. We also pray for your special blessing on all those who are working to transform our city and make it a better place to live and work. Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Mr. Clerk, roll call, please.
Councilor Armand Mercia.
Here.
Councilor Rita Mercia.
Here.
Councilor Milanazzo.
Here.
Councilor Broderick.
Here.
Mayor Caulfield.
Here.
Councilor Elliott.
Here.
Councilor Kazandrian.
Here.
Councilor Lindsay.
Here.
Councilor Martin.
Here.
9 present.
The chair would like to recognize Councilor Bill Martin.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I'd like to offer a moment of silence in darkened chambers for Joan Gannon, who passed away on September 9th, earlier this month. She is a longtime Lowell resident, survived by her husband, David L. Gannon Sr. They came close to celebrating their 33rd wedding anniversary, which would have occurred on September 11th of this year. Mrs. Gannon was a bookkeeper for many years at the Watson Construction Company, and also served as an individual tax preparer for many Lowell residents, and also provided her technical expertise to many nonprofit organizations in the city. She's survived by 4 children, 3 stepchildren, 10 grandchildren, and 2 great-grandchildren. She was a solid citizen of the city, was enjoyed very much watching these meetings, and she will certainly be missed.
Councilor Lindsay.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Also like to darken the chambers in memory of Colum Sullivan, son of Brian J. Sullivan and the late Mary Ann Sullivan, passed away on Sunday, September 13th, at the age of 21. He was the 2008 graduate of Lowell High School, where he captained the championship wrestling team. He was also well known as the prom king. He'll be sorely missed by his family and circle of friends.
And let us all keep in our hearts and prayers all those Lowell residents who have passed away since our last council meeting. Can we rise to darkened chambers, please? Thank you. May they rest in peace. On our agenda this evening, the mayor is going to present a citation to a journalist who has excelled in his profession. Edward R. Murrow, Walter Cronkite, Tom Brokaw, journalists personified. And Mr. James Campanini, representing the Lowell Sun, follows in that same profession with all the great journalists in our country. For the first time in the history of the Lowell Sun, James Campanini received the New England Journalist during the recipient year, the Sun to receive a Yankee Quill Award, the first time ever that award was presented to a journalist at the Lowell Sun. And Jim, it's a pleasure as the mayor to present this citation to you, and know you deserve this immensely. Be it hereby known to all that the City of Lowell and the Commonwealth of Massachusetts extends its deepest congratulations to Jim Campanini for achieving the Yankee Quill Award, bestowed by the Academy of New England Journalists by way of the New England Society of Newspaper Editors Foundation. This award is given to Jim for his outstanding journalism, as well as the quality of time that he gives to the community with his daily writing. It's based on the broad influence of good New England journalism during the recipient's career. Jim is the first journalist from the Sun to receive a Yankee Quill Award and is considered the highest individual honor awarded by fellow journalists in the region, and includes induction into the academy. Jim resides in the city of Lowell with his lovely wife, Mary Lee, and is the son of Dorothy and the late John T. Campanini of Providence, Rhode Island. The entire city commends Jim for all his dedication and hard work and wishes him the best for continued success, given his 22nd day of September, the year 2009, by Mayor Caulfield, the entire Lowell City Council, the Lynch administration, the residents of this great city, but more importantly, I think, by your fellow journalists at the Lowell Sun. Congratulations, Jim Campanini.
Than ever than before. I want to thank you. I've been deeply humbled by this award, and I am deeply honored that the City Council and the City Administration has seen to give me this proclamation. I know the Yankee Quill is a great honor. I know some of you people would like to give me some of your own quills. I know, but I want to thank you. Really, Lowell is my adopted home, and I think that's I love this community. I think that's a credit to your efforts here, the city administration's efforts, the past efforts of other councilors and administrations for making this community such a great one to live in, and also for the Lowell Sun to prosper as it has done throughout the years. To all the Sun readers out there, I want to wish them the very best. I've received a lot of cards and letters from them, people that I know and that I don't know, so I appreciate it. But once again, I'm deeply honored by this action for you tonight. God bless you all, and God bless the city of Lowell. Thank you.
Thank you. I might add, even though Jim is a tremendous journalist, he and his wife Mary Lee are very strong supporters of all the charities in our city. Saints Medical Center. We both walked together during that walk from Cancer to Cancer Walk. And I know you support your church immensely. And you're just more than just a journalist. You're an adopted son of ours as well. So congratulations, Jim, and keep up the great work at the Sun. Thank you. I will now entertain a motion to accept the minutes of the last meeting by Council Broderick, seconded by Council Milonazo. All in favor signify by saying aye. Any opposed? The minutes are accepted and placed on file. Communications from City Manager respond to council motions. Anyone have any questions pertaining to communications? Council Martin.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. There is a report in the packet from the manager about the developers conference that was held last week. I just wanted to comment briefly on. I had filed a motion some months ago to initiate one of these conferences in Lowell. After speaking with the Lieutenant Governor, he had informed me that it's been done in a few other cities in the state, Worcester and Springfield, New Bedford, I believe. And I thought it'd be good to see what kind of activity we could generate. And I know, Mr. Mayor, you were at this conference. Councilor Milonazo, as chairman of the Economic Development Subcommittee, attended. But I was really taken aback by the level of interest. There were more than 100 people attended the conference, and I think they were walked away impressed with what they saw. I saw some of the feedback on some of the evaluations, some of the email correspondence that's come back already about how impressed some people were. So you just don't know when the next big thing is going to hit, whether one of these potential people at the conference could be a tenant in the Hamilton Canal District. They could be looking for other types of investment property or places to locate or expand their businesses. So I know a tremendous amount of work went into this by both Mass Development, the state agency that coordinates development in the state, and our own DPD department had a lot to do with it. So again, I wanted to thank the members of the DPD staff who were involved in this. I know Teresa Park and Maria Dickinson worked very hard on it, Chris Samaras, and I know that I'm probably leaving out some others, but it continues to show me that, you know, and we heard this in the subcommittee meeting, about what a tremendous asset our Planning and Development Office is. And I know, Mr. Manager, you feel that way. I know Mr. Bakey feels that way and provides very capable leadership. So this is the type of thing that gets the word about Lowell across the state, and it's just one more thing that DPD excels in. And so I want to say thank you on behalf, really, of the citizens of the city, because this is the type of thing that leads to growth, that leads to new tax revenue, and ultimately keeps us from having to raise taxes on residents. So, and it provides job opportunities, hopefully, in the long run. So thank you, Mr. Manager, for your efforts, and Mr. Mayor, for your gracious welcome of these folks. I know they were impressed with what they saw.
Mr. Manager, you like to elaborate?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, and I thank you, Councilor, for the very kind words. I couldn't agree more about the Division of Planning and Development and Mr. Bakey's work in his leadership role in that department, but also, as you pointed out, the work that Teresa Park, Maria Dickinson, and Chris Samaras did in really assembling that. And I think it was a great motion that you put forward to get us moving to reach out to Mass Development. And obviously, we have a partnership with Mass Development on a number of different projects around the city, but the idea of having that developers conference was a very good one. And I heard the same feedback from the people that I have spoken to, and I'm happy to say that, and it's hard to believe things happen so quickly, but I believe it was later that afternoon that we actually had a business reach out to us that was at that developers conference that was so impressed with what they saw, they contacted us because they want to follow up on some ideas they have for a development in the city. So if that's any indication, it was a great success. Really gave us a chance to showcase the city and all that we have to offer, and thank you very much for the kind words.
I just want to, did you have, Council Barney? You all set? I just want to briefly comment. First of all, I want to thank Councilor Martin for bringing that motion forward. And you know, sometimes you're so close to the forest, you can't see the tree. And I was at that conference, and over 100 developers were in attendance. And I didn't speak to all 100, but I spoke to probably 60 of those developers. And the comments that I was receiving about the city, a can-do city, a city that's moving forward, a city that has a lot on its plate, a city that is welcoming developers to come into the city and help redevelop this great city. And as Councilor Martin indicated, and Councilor Millen also was there as well, I was so impressed with the enthusiasm that was there that morning. They just want to get involved in this city. And they went on a tour, and I didn't make the tour, but they went on a tour, and they were impressed with us, but we were impressed with them as well. And that's how things are happening in the city. And Adam Bakey, DPD, and the manager, everyone that was involved, they certainly appreciated the invitation, and they certainly appreciated being here in Lowell. And they said it more than once. Things happen in this city. Things happen in a positive way. And I was thrilled with that meeting, and overwhelmed by it. Councilor Milanowski, you want to offer anything?
No, I think you've summed it up fine, Mayor. Thank you.
Any other discussion? Yes, Councilor Broderick.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Through you to the manager. We have an update here for the folks at the Riley School, the parents primarily. The signs are hopefully going to be up next week for the redirecting of the traffic. Appreciate you getting on that.
Yes.
And
Go ahead.
Mr. Mayor, one more thing. There was a letter in our packet from the solicitor. I don't know if we should take this up now about do we need a vote for the auditor to send her a letter, Madam Solicitor?
Thanks. The mayor and I had discussions during the course of last week. As I'm sure you're aware, under the auditor's contract, the council, once receiving a written communication from the auditor, which has already occurred, you have until October 1st to likewise send back a written communication indicating your intent to either begin negotiations on a new contract or not. So the letter is drafted. It has not been yet forwarded to the auditor, and that would be subject to a vote of the council tonight. And I noted in there, I think that you've already gone ahead and set up a auditor's oversight committee.
If the council would like, I would read the communication, then we can get a vote to accept the communication, place it on file?
Right. Do we need to suspend the rules?
Yeah, okay. Motion to suspend the rules by Counsel Broderick, seconded by Counsel Elliott. All in favor of the suspension, indicate by saying aye. Any opposed? The suspensions of an order. Counsel Broderick? Request me to read the communication.
Mr. Mayor, could you please read the...
Mayor
the
Caulfield,
correspondence
members of the
from
City
solicitor?
Council, regarding employment agreement, City Auditor. Dear Mayor Caulfield, members of the City Council, attached, please find a draft letter to be sent to the City Auditor, subject to a vote of the Council. Absent written notification to the Auditor of the City intent to enter or not to enter into negotiations for a successor contract will result in a one-year extension of a contract under its current terms. I will be available should the Council have any further questions regarding this matter. Yours very truly, Christine O'Connor, City Solicitor. And the second part of the communication, dear Ms. Wright, I write on behalf of the Lowell City Council, please be advised that pursuant to Section 3B, Paragraph 3, the city wishes to enter into negotiations regarding a successor agreement and/or an extension of your present contract. It is my understanding that this matter has been referred to the Auditor's Oversight Committee. Very truly yours, Christine O'Connor, City Solicitor. Accept the communication and place it on file by Counsel Broderick, seconded by Counsel Lindsay. All in favor signify by saying aye. Any opposed? The communication has been accepted, placed on file.
Mr. Mayor, excuse me, I think we need to vote to send the letter or somehow authorize the solicitor to send the letter, not place it on file. I think we need to vote affirmatively to issue that to the...
Take a roll call vote on this?
Yes, I don't know if it needs to be roll call, but I think we need to vote on it to send it.
Yeah, a vote. Otherwise, absent that, the contract then automatically will continue under the same terms, no less favorable than for another year than what presently exists.
I'll make
Take
a
a roll
motion.
call vote.
Do we need a motion to send it to a vote?
Go ahead.
So moved.
So moved by Counsel Broderick, seconded by Counsel Lindsay. Roll call.
Councilor Arman Mercia.
Yes.
Councilor Rita Mercia.
Yes.
Councilor Milonazo.
Yes.
Councilor Broderick.
Yes.
Mayor Caulfield.
Yes.
Councilor Elliott.
Yes.
Councilor Kazanjian.
Yes.
Councilor Lenzi.
Yes.
Councilor Martin.
Yes.
9 yeas.
Okay. Any other communications with the manager on motions? I didn't, I just have one brief comment, Mr. Manager. I didn't file a motion, but I was in the neighborhood, the Lower Highlands neighborhood, Sunday, in Westford Street, Smith Street area, Oak Terrace, that might be familiar with. It's also known as 63 Smith Street. There's a abandoned home. It's open to the weather. The DPW has been up there many times cleaning that whole area, along with the Parks Department. And the feedback that I received from the residents on Westford Street, they are fed up with it. And it's under the ownership of a bank. So the bank is neglecting their responsibilities, and I just wish, Mr. Manager, we could address that situation. And okay, thank you. Council Elliott?
Thank you. I just wanted to follow up on, I know we were discussing the motion on the traffic pattern at the elementary school, Riley, but sort of as a related question, Mr. Manager, is the city still doing line painting? I know at one time we were contracting out, and I mean line painting, crosswalks and you know, center lines, things like that. Are we doing that? And I know money is tight, but
We do it in selected locations. Certainly crosswalks we do on a regular basis. Some of the line painting we've delayed if, you know, we evaluate the roadway if it's in particular need. If you want to contact me after the meeting with any specific locations.
There is one. There's a bus stop in Pawtuckaville across from the Duville Manor, and it's a busy road, and I'll put a request in if you could paint a crosswalk.
Well, crosswalk, is there already a crosswalk there?
I believe there is, but I'll...
Okay, but otherwise it has to meet certain warrants to place a crosswalk, but if you can get me the address, we'll take a look at it.
Thank you.
Any other questions for the manager before we move on with the agenda? If not, accept the communications and place them on file by Counsel Arman Mercia, second by Counsel Milonazo. All in favor, signify by saying aye. Any opposed? The communications are accepted and placed on file. Moving on with the agenda. We have 11 requests for out-of-state travel. Any debate or questions pertaining? Counsel Milonazo.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I'm going to support the out-of-state travel request, but I just wanted to make note of the fact that under the MIS department, the director of the MIS department actually because of their good work as a department, actually received the Munis Public Service Sector Excellence Award. And I think that should be noted and put into the minutes that, again, this gentleman that works here for us, his name is, let me just look here. I apologize. I know that Tom Moses has been working with him, and it's Moran? Moran. Yep, correct, Moran Fernandez. So congratulations to Moran, and again, just to note that. Thank you.
Councilor, would you like for the manager to send a congratulations
Yes, that'd be
from the
great.
council?
Thank you.
In our way of saying thank you. Mr. Manager, will you make that happen, please? Okay, roll call on the out-of-state travel.
Councilor Armin Mercia.
Yes.
Councilor Rita Mercia.
Yes.
Councilor Milonazo.
Yes.
Councilor Broderick.
Yes.
Mayor Caulfield.
Yes.
Councilor Elliott.
Yes.
Councilor Kazanjian.
Yes.
Councilor Lenzi.
Yes.
Councilor Martin.
Yes.
9 yeas.
Moving on with the agenda, Mayor Caulfield, members of the City Council, regard Crime Stoppers of Lowell Incorporated appointment of Norman Zarella. Dear Mayor Caulfield, members of the City Council, pursuant to the authority vested in me as City Manager under the authority set forth in Articles 3, Section 1, Article 5, Section 1, and Article 7, Section 1 of the bylaws of the Crime Stoppers of Lowell Incorporated, it is with pleasure that I am appointing Norman Zarella, 23 Fort Hill Avenue, Lowell, Massachusetts, to the Crime Stoppers of Lowell Incorporated. No confirmation is needed for the City Council, except the communication, place it on file by Councilor Martin, seconded by Councilor Rita Mercia. All in favor, signify by saying aye. It's been accepted and placed on file. Moving on with the agenda. Authorizing the city manager on behalf of the city hall to notify the owners of a certain property that a public hearing will be held pursuant to Massachusetts General Laws, Chapter 139. Whereas the City Council of the City of Lowell desires to hold a public hearing for the purpose of determining if certain properties located in said city are a nuisance to the neighborhood or dangerous, and to determine what disposition, if any, may be prescribed. Now therefore be it voted by the City Council of the City of Lowell as follows, that the owners of the properties be notified that a public hearing will be held by the City Council under the provisions of Massachusetts General Laws, Chapter 139, Section 1, on October 20th, 2009 at 7 p.m. in the City Council chambers of City Hall, 15 Auburn Street, 33 Hildreth Street. The purpose of the hearing is to determine if the building structures or parcels of land involved are a nuisance to the neighborhood or dangerous, in what disposition order regulations shall be prescribed by the Lowell City Council, if any. The second reading by title, authorizing the city manager on behalf of the City of Lowell to notify the owners of a certain property that a public hearing will be held pursuant to Massachusetts General Laws, Chapter 139. Any discussion? Council Rita Mercia.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Through you to the city manager. Mr. Manager, this was my motion about 33 Hildreth Street some time ago, and we don't really like to sit here and order someone's property demolished. But then again, this is a situation where these are buildings within neighborhoods, and we're trying to revitalize neighborhoods. And when we see a piece of property sit idle and derelict over the years and years, this is not fair to neighborhoods. And I've known in the past that we've done this, only to the advantage of notifying residents about our disgust with their property, and some of them spruce it up, and it's the flame that they need to get going to revitalize their own property for the sake of, you know, people's property being devaluated because of an eyesore like this. So I commend you, and maybe we ought to do this a little bit more often, because who knows if someone that owns one of these parcels of property is going to come forward and say, please give me a chance. And I always want to give someone a chance, and maybe that's all they need. And so this is the caveat to doing this. So thank you very much, Mr. Manager, and we'll wait for that public hearing and see what happens. Thank you.
Any other questions for the Council Martin?
I completely agree. I've gotten complaints about these two, but many others, and so, you know, this may start to set an example, but I think, you know, with all the foreclosures, we've been, I think, for the most part, giving lenders the benefit of the doubt. Certainly we won't have any trouble with the local banks, but out-of-state banks are a different story, and so I think this is a good first step, but it may be something that we need to really monitor on other properties as well. So I agree with Councilor Mercier.
And in past practices, when an issue like this comes before the council, the landlord comes running down and say, please, don't do it. And you know what? That's the only time we ever see him, when we threaten to demolish the property. Councilor
Yeah,
Allen?
I agree, Mayor, that's exactly what I was going to say. But, Mr. Manager, the cost of advertising, which can be significant these days, this has, public hearing has to be put in the newspaper, correct? And, you know, I mean, this is quite a lengthy report that has to be put together. Is there some way that we recoup these costs when these homeowners, property owners, excuse me, come down and...
Well, our hope is that we recoup the costs when we ultimately take the property and sell the land.
Right.
In some cases, like some properties, you know, we're somewhat limited in what we can recoup, but that's our goal.
And do we attach the demolition costs to this?
Right.
And I know in the past we've sold land for fair market value, and you know, we can't roll those costs in because somebody wouldn't buy it, which is a little frustrating. That's the way it goes. But
You may recall that a year ago we set up a revolving fund to help pay for these costs of demolition, and then when the money comes in to pay for that, it goes back into the revolving fund.
okay, thank you.
The hearing is set for October 20th. All in favor signify by saying aye. Any opposed? That hearing will be held. Moving on with the agenda. Vote authorizing the city manager acting through the Division of Planning and Development to apply for, accept, and expend a grant in the total amount of $1 million from the Massachusetts Executive Office of Housing and Economic Development Growth District Initiative Program. Whereas the Commonwealth of Massachusetts has made available grant funds for municipalities that have identified one or more areas in their communities as being appropriate locations for significant new growth. And whereas the Hamilton Canal District in the city of Lowell, located within the JAM Urban Renewal Plan area, is the city's designated growth district and is eligible for funding through the Growth District Initiative Program. And whereas the city of Lowell desires to apply for, accept, and expend funds from the Massachusetts Executive Office of Housing and Economic Development Growth District Initiative Program. Whereas the Executive Office of Housing and Economic Development previously provided the city with $3.5 million in fiscal year '09 funding for the Hamilton Canal District through the Growth District Initiative Program. And whereas the City Council has also authorized the Division of Planning and Development to apply, accept, and expend for the fiscal year 10 and fiscal year 11, and whereas the Executive Office of Housing and Economic Development Growth District has encouraged the city to apply for an additional $1 million in funding for fiscal year 10, fiscal year 11, wherein portions of these funds will be used to help finance construction and improvements to the Lord Overpass, traffic signals, and on-ramp and other developments in the Hamilton Canal District. Now therefore, be it voted that by the City Council of the City of Lowell, that the city manager acting through the Division of Planning and Development be and is hereby authorized in the name of the City of Lowell to apply for, accept, and expend an additional grant in the amount of $1 million from the Massachusetts Executive Office of Housing and Economic Development Growth District Initiative Program. Be it further voted that the city manager on behalf of the City of Lowell be and is hereby is authorized to execute any and all documents necessary in connection with said grant from the Massachusetts Executive Office of Housing and Economic Development Growth District Initiative Program, second reading by title. Authorizing the city manager, acting through the Division of Planning and Development, to apply for, accept, and expend a grant in the total amount of $1 million from the Massachusetts Executive Office of Housing and Economic Development Growth District Initiative Program. Any discussion? Move approval by Council Rita Mercier, seconded by Council Milanazzo. And before we take a roll call, I asked Adam Bakey just the other day, how many growth districts do we have? He said, well, there's 15 in the state, and there's 2 in the City of Lowell. And that's amazing, absolutely amazing. And once again, the state is coming forward to help us fund many, many projects. Councilor Broderick.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I just want to take the opportunity to thank, not only the manager, but especially DPD for their efforts with these grants. We had a subcommittee meeting earlier, and I didn't take that opportunity, so I do want to say thank you done a tremendous job working
Yeah.
with the state and delegation in getting us the money to keep this project going. It's not a job, it's a project, and the benefits are real, and we're going to start seeing them shortly. So thank you very much, and keep up the hard work.
Okay. Any other questions? Roll call. Oh, Council Alan Kazanjian, go ahead.
Thank you, Mayor. I also think it's great we're getting another $1 million from the state for this grant money, but this is going to be just for the overpass, is that correct, Mr. Manager?
I'll have Mr. Bakey, if you could describe all the elements of this.
I know we talked about it earlier in the subcommittee, I just want to,
Sure. This funding includes two components. A sizable component of it is for off-site infrastructure work associated with the first phase of the Hamilton Canal, the majority of which will be at the Lord Overpass area. It also does include funding for to address some of the premium costs associated with the Appleton Mills buildings themselves in their current condition. And that's basically going to be pass-through funding that flows from the state to Trinity by way of the city.
okay, thank you.
Before we take a roll call, whether it was Governor Patrick, Governor Romney, or governors who visit our city over the years, and the Lowell delegation, I love their favorite comments. We love to give Lowell money because they do something with it that's positive. And this is why we do receive these grants. We do make it work. Roll call.
Councilor Arman Mercia.
Yes.
Councilor Rita Mercia.
Yes.
Councilor Milonazo.
Yes.
Councilor Broderick.
Yes.
Mayor Caulfield.
Yes.
Councilor Elliott.
Yes.
Councilor Kazanjian.
Yes.
Councilor Lenzi.
Yes.
Councilor Martin.
Yes.
9 yeas.
Vote, authorizing the city manager to execute an easement agreement with Trinity Appleton for limited partnership with Trinity Appleton Limited Partnership to facilitate various construction activities associated with the development of the Appleton Mills property, whereas said easement has been reviewed by the engineering department as well as the water and wastewater departments. Be it voted by the city council of the city of Lowell as follows, that the city manager be, and he is hereby authorized to execute the easement agreement between the city of Lowell, Trinity Appleton for limited partnership, and Trinity Appleton Limited Partnership as shown on a plan entitled Easement Plan of Land Located in Lowell, Massachusetts, scale 1 inch to 40 feet, September 15, 2009, attached hereto as Exhibit B. Said easements shall be in accordance with the forms, and substantially similarly, the forms attached hereto as Appendix A. Be it further voted that any costs of recording the easement and related plans shall be at the grantee's expense. Second reading by title. Authorizing the city manager to execute an easement agreement with Trinity Appleton for Limited Partnership and Trinity Appleton Limited Partnership to facilitate various construction activities associated with development of the Appleton Mills property. Any discussion or debate?
Move approval.
Move approval by Council Arman Mercia, seconded by Councilor Lindsay. Roll call.
Councilor Arman Mercia.
Yes.
Councilor Rita Mercia.
Yes.
Councilor Milonazo.
Yes.
Councilor Broderick.
Yes.
Mayor Caulfield.
Yes.
Councilor Elliott.
Yes.
Councilor Kazanjian.
Yes,
Councilor Lenzi.
Yes.
Councilor Martin.
Yes.
9 yeas.
Authorizing the city manager, on behalf of the city of Lowell, to accept a gift from the administrator of the state of Mary Kefis. Maria Kefis, what's that? Chiaffis, okay, thank you. Chiaffis, in the amount of $5,000 for the use by the Council of Aging of the City of Lowell. Whereas in accordance with the last will and testament of Mary Chiaffis, Mary V. Chiaffis, the Lowell Senior Center is named to receive a request of $5,000 for the use by the Council of Aging of the City of Lowell, and whereas the City of Lowell desires to accept the gift of said funds for use by its Council on Aging. Now therefore be it voted that the city manager be and he is hereby authorized in the name of the City of Lowell to accept the gift from the administrator of the state of Mary Chiaffis, in the amount of $5,000 for the use by the Council on Aging of the City of Lowell pursuant to Massachusetts General Laws, Chapter 44, Section 53A. Be it further voted that we, the members of the City Council of the City of Lowell, jointly and severally do hereby commend and officially extend the gratitude of the City of Lowell for the generosity displayed through the donation of the aforesaid gift to the City of Lowell. Second reading by title. Authorizing the city manager on behalf of the City of Lowell to accept a gift from the administrator of the state of Mary Chiaffis, Mary V. Chiaffis, in the amount of $5,000 for the use of the Council on the Aging of the City of Lowell. Any questions?
Move approval.
Council.
I just want to comment that she was my secretary at the Preservation Commission
Oh, okay.
And it took me a while to understand how to pronounce her name, so it is Chiaffis. But
Well, thank
this
you.
doesn't surprise me at all. I mean, Mary was a great person. She loves the city of Lowell, and she loved the Senior Citizen Center, so I really think
Council
it's
Biden?
great.
Thank you. I want to thank her also. Just one little typographical error in the second paragraph. It says 1,000 rather than 5. We just maybe, I don't know if we need to correct it on the vote, but just a small typo on the one I have.
Yeah. Okay. There's no problem with the... Mr. Manager, can we send a thank you to the Chiaffis family from the council?
We will do that, yes.
Roll call, please.
Councilor Arman Mercia.
Yes.
Councilor Rita Mercia.
Yes.
Councilor Milonazo.
Yes.
Councilor Broderick.
Yes.
Mayor Caulfield.
Yes.
Councilor Elliott.
Yes.
Councilor Kazandrian.
Yes.
Councilor Lenzi.
Yes.
Councilor Martin.
Yes.
9 yeas.
And now, next on the agenda,
Another gift.
from Hollywood. Vote authorizing the city manager on behalf of the city of Lowell to accept the gift from Councilor Rita M. Mercia of $584.90, whereas the Councilor Rita Mercia desires to donate a total sum of $584.90 to the city of Lowell, and whereas Councilor Rita Mercia is donating the monies earned from her debut in the movie The Fighter, and whereas Councilor Rita Mercia wishes to donate $342.45 to the Lowell Senior Center and $242.45 to the Lowell High School, totaling $584.90. And whereas the city of Lowell desires to accept the gift of said funds, now therefore be it voted that the city manager be and he is hereby authorized in the name of the city of Lowell to accept the gift from Council Rita M. Mercia in the amount of $584.90 pursuant to Massachusetts General Laws, Chapter 44, Section 53A. The second reading by title, authorizing the city manager on behalf of the city of Lowell to accept the gift from Councilor Rita M. Mercia of $584.90. Any
I
questions?
have a question. Will this continue on when the royalties come in?
I'm just sorry it isn't 5,000 like Mrs. Chiaffis or 5 million, but I haven't reached the status of Angelina Jolie yet, but you never know, I might just donate big
Move to accept
someday.
this gracious offer.
Yes. Thank you. Any comments from this side of the council? No. Thank you, Councilor
We
Rita
reserve our
Mercia.
right, though.
And that money, I know, will be put to good use at the Council on Aging and Lowell High School as well. Thank you. Roll call.
Councilor Arman Mercia.
Yes.
Movie starlet and city councilor Rita
Yes,
Mercia.
yes.
Councilor Milonazo.
Yes.
Councilor Broderick.
Yes.
Mayor Caulfield.
Yes.
Councilor Elliott.
Yes.
Councilor Kazandrian.
Yes.
Councilor Lenzi.
Yes.
Councilor Martin.
Yes.
9 yeas.
Vote. Order to provide funding for after-hour operations for the remainder of fiscal year 2010 and to remove 19 trees from the cemetery for the City of Lowell Cemetery Department, ordered by the City Council of the City of Lowell as follows: that the amount of $50,000 be transferred from Perpetual Care Fund Number 8406, as more fully described in Attachment A, to various accounts within the Cemetery Department budget, more fully described in Attachment A. Second reading by title, to provide funding for after-hours operation for the remainder of fiscal year 2010 and to remove 19 trees from the cemetery for the City of Lowell Cemetery Department. Move for approval by Councilor Elliott, seconded by Councilor Kazanjian. Any discussion or debate? Roll call.
Councilor Arman Mercia.
Yes.
Councilor Rita Mercia.
Yes.
Councilor Milonazo.
Yes.
Councilor Broderick.
Yes.
Mayor Caulfield.
Yes.
Councilor Elliott.
Yes.
Councilor Kazandrian.
Yes.
Councilor Lenzi.
Yes.
Councilor Martin.
Yes.
9 yeas. We need to suspend.
Suspension of the rules for this. Can we have a motion to suspend the rules by, so moved by Councilor Elliott, seconded by Councilor Lindsay. All in favor of the suspensions, signify by saying aye. Any opposed? The suspensions are in order, and this is the reason for the suspension. Authorizing the city manager to execute an easement from the City of Lowell to Bernard F. Murphy III and Linda L. Murphy for a portion of the grantee porch to encroach upon city property located at 310 Parker Street 3 Wedge Street in the city of Lowell. Be it voted by the city council of the city of Lowell as follows, that the city manager be and hereby is authorized to execute an easement from the city of Lowell to Bernard F. Murphy III and Linda L. Murphy for a portion of the grantee's porch to encroach upon city property located at 310 Parker Street, 3 Wedge Street in said Lowell. Said easement shall be the form or substantially the form attached hereto. Be it further voted that any cost of recording the easement and related plans shall be at the grantee's expense. Second reading by title. Authorizing the city manager to execute an easement from the city of Lowell to Bernard F. Murphy III and Linda L. Murphy for a portion of the grantee's porch to encroach upon city property located at 310 Parker Street, 3 Wedge Street in the city of Lowell. I believe this came before us 2 weeks ago. Any questions pertaining to this? If none, roll call.
Councilor Armin Mercia.
Yes.
Councilor Rita Mercia.
Yes.
Councilor Milonazo.
Yes.
Councilor Broderick.
Yes.
Mayor Caulfield.
Yes.
Councilor Elliott.
Yes.
Councilor Kazandrian.
Yes.
Councilor Lenzi.
Yes.
Councilor Martin.
Yes.
9 yeas.
Subcommittee reports. Councilor Milonazo, Councilor Kazan.
Since it was Councilor Kazanjian's motion, I'll defer to
Okay.
Councilor
Councilor
Kazanjian.
Kazanjian?
This is on last week. We had a couple of subcommittees. One was on September 15th, we had 2 subcommittees. One was on the 319 Wilder Street, the Grip House. In attendance was Chief LaValle, Captain Sullivan, and Mr. Donald Sheehan. And the reason for the subcommittee was numerous complaints from the neighborhood. And one of the complaints was Mr. Donald Sheehan, who operates a veterans home right across the street from this Grip House. Got in a confrontation with some young boys that reside at the Grip House, and ended up, Mr. Sheehan's 58 years old, and ended up being hospitalized because of this confrontation, and brought it to my attention, plus other neighbors have brought it to my attention. So basically, we talked about what was going on, and we ended up with a meeting that we're going to meet in 2 or 3 weeks with the manager of the Grip House and find out what she's going to do to solve this problem. The veterans that live in the Mr. Sheehan's home there, the veterans home, are afraid to even go outside, and they might have a confrontation with the kids that live in this Grip House. So, like I said, we're going to meet in 2 to 3 weeks and with the manager of the Grip House and find out what she's going to do to resolve the problem, so the neighborhood is pretty much safe again, so they don't have any problems.
Have you seen an improvement there, Councilor Kazanjian?
I haven't heard anything yet. Mr. Sheehan hasn't called me. I really haven't seen anything at this point in time, but like I said, we're going to meet in 2 to 3 weeks. So I will reach out to Mr. Sheehan and find out in the meantime. He will be here at the next meeting, and we will talk to the manager of the Grip Home and find out, like I said, what she plans on doing.
Okay. Anyone else like to accept the reporters? Councilor Broderick.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. That was an excellent report. One thing that was noted from the city solicitor was that, city solicitor Fenton, was that the difficulty from the council's perspective is there's very little we can do because it's Massachusetts law. They're exempt as a nonprofit from our zoning in many of our ordinances. So there's limited things we can do, and that's where the suggestion to bring the manager of their operation in to see how they can better coexist, because it definitely is a problem, and it was a good motion by Councilor Kazanjian. Thank you.
Yep, and Mr. Fenton, like Council Broderick had mentioned, Mr. Fenton stated that these nonprofit homes can go anywhere throughout the city. There's no zoning requirements. The city's hands are tied, but we also want to find out if they're not operating properly, what can the city do as far as...
Was this the property on Wilder Street?
Correct.
Right.
319 Wilder.
No matter what the home is, everyone has to abide by the law.
Right.
And peace, keep peace and tranquility in the neighborhood. From what I understand, they're not doing that.
Correct.
So,
correct.
So.
Okay, then we had one other meeting, subcommittee meeting on that same date, which was September 15th. It was on the wastewater treatment plant about the odor control. The motion was brought up by Councilor Rita Mercia, and Mark Young was present at the meeting, and we've got we did get some information on it. They are just finished the design and engineering process right now. And as some of us know, the odor is getting very, very bad there. Mr. Young had stated that some of the equipment is basically broken down and is going to be worked on within 2 to 3 months. That's what the plan is. Everything is in place. And they rather do it, it's going to be shut down probably 7 to 10 days, and they rather do it while the weather's a little bit cold, so the smell won't be as bad versus this warmer weather. So again, we are going to meet and probably right before they do start and find out what's going to happen. So we can let the public know what's going on, and just be aware if the smell does get a little bit worse than what it is now, that the reason is they're shut down for 7 to 10 days, and they are going to be working on it and replacing the equipment.
Any other discussion on that particular? Accept both reports as a report of progress. All in favor, signify by saying aye. Those both reports have been accepted and placed on file. Councilor Milano?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. We had a subcommittee meeting this evening. It was a joint meeting of both the Neighborhood Subcommittee and the Economic Development Subcommittee to get an update on the Hamilton Canal. This meeting came about as a result of a couple of motions filed by both Councilor Broderick and Councilor Kazanjian. And again, from here on out, we're going to schedule these informational meetings on a periodic basis in order to keep the council and the public informed as to the progress of the work being done at Hamilton Canal. I think all of my colleagues would agree that it was a very good meeting. We had representatives from Trinity Financial here, as well as representatives, obviously, from the administration, updating the council as to where the Hamilton Canal project is to date. A number of points that came out as a result of the discussion, that we've hit a number of milestones, not the least of which we had actually, through the land assembly, borrowed in excess of $19 million, and a result of transferring land to both the Commonwealth and to Trinity, we now owe less than $2 million, again, that's all good news. We took a vote this evening to apply for an additional $1 million through the Executive Office of Housing and Economic Development. As you recall, we had already received $3.5 million. These funds have been used to design and will begin the construction of the infrastructure for the site. Vanessa Hangen-Breslin has completed all of the design work for Phase 1, so we'll again see that moving forward. The Trinity Financial representatives indicated that they're going to be closing on their financing this Wednesday. They've actually been able to secure $40 million in equity funds for the first phase, which will be 130 units of artist live workspace in the Hamilton Mill buildings on parcels 6 and 7 of the site. So again, we're going to see construction going on as early as this October. Again, working with other public organizations, be it the LRTA or the Northern Middlesex Council of Governments on various transportation and pedestrian-related issues, those are all moving ahead as well. So I think from the standpoint of even in this economic time, this project is moving forward. So again, congratulations to the administration, to Trinity Financial, to the state delegation, who's brought literally millions of dollars to the project. So again, I think it was a good motions, plural, to move forward with informational meetings in order to keep the council and the public informed. So that's a report of progress, Mr. Mayor.
Councilor Kazanjian?
Thank you, Mayor. I thought it was a great meeting tonight. Myself and my colleagues and the public, we got a lot of information. We know now that they're going to start at the beginning of October, and they're funded for $40 million, and we're going to get this up and running for Phase 1. And I just want to thank Trinity and thank the state delegation and the planning department. I think everything is on schedule, and look forward to seeing it happen.
Okay. Anyone else like to? As Trinity Financial was presenting all the wonderful snapshots on the easel and the artist's rendition, I think the picture's worth 1,000 words, and is exciting, absolutely exciting, because you're not going to only refurbish and renovate that entire neighborhood, you're going to expand downtown, and with the new courthouse and everything that's happening in that neighborhood, it's just an exciting time. And during the hard economic times everyone is facing, this city is moving forward in a very positive way. Accept the report as a report of progress by Council Milonazo. All in favor, signify by saying aye. That report has been received and placed on file. Any other reports? Council Elliott.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. The Finance Subcommittee met this evening in response to motions filed in the past to get an update on FY 010 budget. And the manager and Mr. Moses prepared a presentation. I'll try to recap the meeting as easy as I can, but essentially, naturally, we continue to monitor the budget, the manager and his administration, tracking revenues, closely keeping an eye on our expenditures, and there is some good news, and of course, we also have a little bit of bad news. A couple of areas of deficits that the manager brought forward. We have meals tax, we have a deficit of $450,000 because it hasn't been voted. He will be considering bringing it forward in November, and if that does come to fruition, then we can look at revenues from January onward. Same thing with rooms tax, $150,000 deficit. Deficit and overestimated trash revenues, motor vehicle excise tax. However, he did indicate that this $200,000 deficit will be mitigated hopefully by when excise tax comes in. It doesn't come in on a regular basis, but the Cash for Clunkers program was a success. We'll reap some benefits from motor vehicle excise tax. While the ambulance revenue is not final yet, we're still anticipating receiving $150,000 in that account. The good news is that local receipts, which we were very conservative with, and by the way, I thought we were conservative in many of these areas, and I think all my colleagues do agree, but the nature of the economy is so unpredictable that we just can't, we're as close as we possibly can, but we can't be exact. Excuse me. So with that, we have $175 surplus. I shouldn't say surplus, but overestimated receipts in that area. Expenses, we have a favorable stop-loss rate of $50,000. We have reduced assessment from the Greater Lowell Tech of $130,000. Pension assessment, we're looking to extend our contribution, our assessment to the pension fund. Right now, we're looking at a $283,000 deficit, but if we extend the schedule out to 2030, if we don't extend the schedule out to 2030, right now it's funded through 2028, we could be looking at an additional $700,000. So waiting for state approval on that. Excuse me. Very good news is that we've reduced, the manager has reduced the snow and ice deficit to 1.6, by 1.6, almost $1.7 million. It was $2.2 million. That's a huge boost to the budget. And lastly, the deficit from the arena has been reduced by an additional $27,000 on top of reductions that have already been made. Mr. Manager, I know you did indicate at the subcommittee meeting, what was that reduction to date on top of the $227,000?
That was the reduction in the deficit that we're carrying over. In this year's budget, we reduced the basically the subsidy to the arena operation by about $600,000,
Okay.
$600,000.
Okay, I thought that was important to highlight. In addition, during this year, the city had received a $450,000 earmark. At the beginning of the year, it was cut by $250,000, but manager and the Parks Commissioner, rightfully so, immediately started to improve our parks. Further through the fiscal year, it was wiped out. So we have a deficit there. Trash appropriation was a little bit low. Unemployment costs, good news is that it was overestimated. So we have a surplus of $250,000 in that, trash appropriation was too low by $460,000. Long story short, the conclusion from the presentation is that revenue expenditures, the variances are essentially break even. The manager did outline certain items to keep an eye out for. We'll continue to monitor them. I won't go through the whole list, but DOR, Department of Revenue, has concerned over reserve levels, disability and workers' comp medical costs. Probably most important are the potential of October 9C cuts. What's that mean? October 15th is the date, is the time frame that the state looks at their quarterly receipts, and that will dictate whether we will experience more local aid cuts or not. The manager elaborated a little bit on exactly what the procedure is that would take place, but the long and the short of it is we're sitting back, we're crossing our fingers, and hopefully we'll not have any more cuts. There's still a need to secure funding for additional police officers. So that's a report of progress from the Finance Subcommittee. We'll continue to meet. Appreciate your providing this information to the Finance Subcommittee. At the meeting, in addition to Finance Subcommittee members, Councilor Martin and Councilor Broderick, were Councilor Rita Mercia, Councilor Jim Milanazzo, Councilor Alan Kazanjian, and the mayor. So one important item as we look forward, fiscal year 2011 will be, again, as challenging, if not more. The state, unfortunately, is using more stimulus funding from the federal government than anticipated, so local aid clearly will be focus for next fiscal year. So not all gloom and doom, but we're still not out of the thick of things, but I believe that the manager and Mr. Moses, you're really doing a good job keeping an eye on and tracking all of these things, because the budget is so tight. You know, a blip on any one of these items will certainly have a rippling effect, but so that's a report of progress.
Thank you,
Excuse
Councilor.
me,
It
Mr.
was an
Mayor.
excellent report.
Mr. Manager.
Are there any other comments pertaining to the report? Except the report is...
I just have one comment. I just received this. I didn't attend a meeting, but it's interesting to see the conclusion indicating at this time revenue and expenditure variances are very close to break even. That's some good news as you read this report. And we know that there are other things that could happen that would change that. But at this point in the game, when that is said, it says something for us. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Accept the report as report of progress. All in favor signify by saying aye. The report has been accepted and placed on file. Any other subcommittee reports? We're going to move on to petitions. Miscellaneous. Walter Bayless and abutters request city abandoned remaining portion of Conoil Street. Referred to the Law Department by Councilor Lindsay, seconded by Councilor Jim Milanazzo. A question?
I had a question, Mr. Mayor. Thank you. A couple of residents called me just about that Conoil Street, and they were concerned that the plan was to shut the street down, and maybe they misunderstood what's happening, but the street will not get shut down. It's just the extension that will go to the Law Department.
I think everyone has that outlay in your packet, and it shows you distinctively that it won't shut anyone down.
Yeah. So the residents are still able to get into their...
Councilor Rita?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Mayor. I believe the person he's talking about spoke to me, and he understands it, and it's further up the street. It's not near where his lot is, so he's fine.
And the gentleman who spoke to me is not here this evening, so he must be happy with the...
Yeah, he is.
Same guy who spoke to me.
Same guy.
Yes.
He called us all.
So
All
we touched
around.
all...
Yeah.
Councilor Martin,
Yeah.
would you like to add on?
Oh, no, I assume I heard from the same person everyone else did, so.
He made 9 phone calls, I guess. So, referred to the Law Department by Councilor Lindsay, seconded by Councilor Elliott. Attorney Timothy Sullivan for estate of Brenda L. Eli requests to redeem property at 25 Kerry Street. Refer that to the Law Department by Councilor Milanazzo, seconded by Councilor Arma Mercia.
Mr. Mayor?
Yes.
I just be recorded as present on that one.
Okay. Okay. Just, you want to take a roll call on that? Okay.
If the clerk can just do that, I think that's fine.
Councilor Martin is being present. And next, we have Patrick O'Connor. Requests address council regarding updated copies of Plan E government. Ms. O'Connor.
Thank you very much, Mr. Mayor. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen of the City Council. It's always a pleasure to see each and every one of you. Mr. Manager. As you know, or if you don't know, 2 years ago I came out here and I asked for an interpretation of Section 108 of the Planning Charter. And at that time, I believe that Councilor Rita Mercier asked the Law Department to put something together for that. And, you know, nothing's ever came out of that, and nobody knows still what this is today, and nobody even wants to seem to talk about that. I'm here tonight in front of you because 4 weeks ago I came here and I asked for some sort of documentation be placed in this city that tells us what the Planning Charter is. And up to date, there's nothing there. Now, 4 weeks ago when I came out here, the manager said, of course it was after I spoke, I don't get an opportunity to rebut, but the manager said, well, you should go online and read the Mass General laws. Well, I read those 20 years ago, and they're still the same today. And they still apply the same way to this city. All right, and I don't come out here all the time not knowing what I'm talking about. I'm actually looking for the documentation of why our charter actually, why do we have a preliminary election? Nobody seems to know why. In 1944, Plan E was adopted by this city. And, you know, from 1944 on, we sit there and we were supposed to have a council elected by proportional representation.
Ms. O'Connor, can I interrupt?
Absolutely, Mr. Mayor. Go
The
ahead.
solicitor would like to comment? No? No? I want to finish? Okay. Go ahead, Ms. O'Connor. She's going to let you finish.
Oh, she's going to let me finish. Never get to rebut. Anyways, you know, this is all I'm looking for. I'm trying to find out why, when, where, that our charter changed from 1944 till now. This is all I'm trying to find out. I mean, I've gone to the city clerk, I've asked him, they have no documentation. I've gone to the election office, they have no documentation. I think that it should be something that's available to the public everywhere in this city. I mean, if we should know. Now, if changing a election, if we had to have more than 9 councilors or 18 people running for council, and that's part of our charter, it's my opinion after reading, in which I've read entirely the Mass Constitution, it's not within your purview to change that as a city council. There's only 2 ways to change the to change a charter from the Mass Constitution, and they both lead to a charter commission.
Right.
And whether it's you or an initiative petition or whatever, when it comes to changing government. Now, this is all I'm trying to find out. I would like to be able to go to the city clerk's office, say, what's our charter? Why do we pay attention to this? Why do we follow this rule? Why do we follow that law? And that's all I'm looking for. If anybody takes the time just to read, now Chapter 96 of the Planning Charter is still enforced here today. And if anybody takes the time to read that, it says specifically that all councilors shall be elected by proportional representation. And we don't do that. So I want to know why. I'd just like to know what changed, where it changed, and that's all. Okay. So if you could help me out, Mr. Mayor, and the rest of the council, that would be greatly appreciated. And thank you for this time. Thank you very much.
Solicitor, would you like to comment on Ms. O'Connor's request?
Sure, and
Are we calling this O'Connor versus O'Connor?
not at all. As far as getting the information, I believe information was given to the council in the packet last week. It was an opinion that had been given previously by Attorney Leahy, and it spelled out the numerous changes that took place throughout the history of the city in going to a planning charter and the different amendments that have taken place over time, and addressed the issue of the primary and exactly what we would need to do in order to change that number for the primary. And so I'd be happy to get that to you, Mr. O'Connor, if you didn't get a copy of it. Sometimes they're put online, sometimes they're not, and I'd be happy to get you that opinion.
Thank you, Christine, for that information. There's been a number of changes to this charter.
There has.
as far as I can see. I mean, is there any reason, and it's not
It's
just
not
for me,
just a-
I'm looking for all the changes, why they would change, when they would change.
This actually is a very comprehensive opinion that, that tracks the changes. And again, even with respect to the primary, it's not just a charter. It's sort of a combination between our charter requirements as well as requirements in the Mass General Law, and that need to be read together.
I don't doubt you at all, but I think we can kind of agree that that's not available anywhere for me to find. I mean, the only option
No,
I
it's-
have is to go to the city clerk's office and
Right.
say, can I see that? And nobody has
Right.
it.
It may be that once you get a copy of the opinion, I think, may very well answer the questions that you're raising, which are legitimate, obviously, questions, and it is complex, but we'll get that right out to you.
If it's just available from the city clerk's office, I'd be more than happy with that. I can obtain it from there by going down there, and
Whatever you
the
want.
whole
We
public can obtain it by there. Thank you very much, by the way. Thank you, Mr.
Are
Mayor.
you happy, Mr. O'Connor?
Well, up till now I am, but you never know for the rest of the week, Mr. Mayor. Thank you.
Thank you. We have two claims of property damage referred to the Law Department by Council Rita Mercia, seconded by Council Lindsay. All in favor signify by saying aye. That is the end of the petitions. We're now moving on to motions, and if my colleagues don't mind, I'd just like to present this motion to you, and we do have two residents in the audience, Mr. and Mrs. O'Hearn, and if I'd like to ask for suspension of the rules, Mrs. O'Hearn, would you like to speak on this motion? Let me present the motion first. Let me get the suspension in order first. By Mayor Caulfield, City Council requests the city manager contact Comcast and request they assist the elderly with the digital conversion equipment, both physically and monetarily. Seconded by Council Milonazo, and I'll offer a suspension of the rules. So moved by Council Milonazo, seconded by Council Rita Mercia. All in favor of the suspension signify by saying aye. The opposed, suspensions are in order. Mrs. O'Hearn, if you'd like to address the council pertaining to this motion.
I just want to say I take care of my mother and two elderly aunts in my family. And when Comcast decided that everybody needed new adapters and new digital starter boxes to keep their stations that they already pay for, of course, they don't have the money to pay for the labor. I decided, which I'm very tech savvy, I'm going to do it for them. I spent 10 woman hours on the phone with Comcast, who shuffled me from person to person, making me do the same steps over and over again. I finally had a slight meltdown and told him that it wasn't me, it was their equipment, and that they better get somebody up there, and I was not paying a cent. Well, therefore, they did send somebody up, and it was faulty equipment. The next day, I go and I do my other aunts. Again, we have faulty equipment. I even brought it down to Washer Street to change it up, because this particular aunt doesn't really like strangers in the house. When I went down there it is, boxes and boxes and boxes of this faulty equipment that people have been bringing in. Well, I know that my aunts don't have the money, and other people out there, the elderly people, they may not have nieces or nephews or somebody to put this equipment in for them. I told the Comcast company I found it abusive what they did to me, and they thought they were speaking to an 84-year-old. So I thought it was abusive, and I called Bud up right away, and Bud put this motion in behalf of me. And I thank you for listening to me.
Any comments from the council?
Yes.
Council Rita Mercia?
Mr. Mayor, do we have Dave Fenton from the Law Department that is like a liaison with the cable, with Comcast?
Maybe I can interact here just a bit.
Yes.
Manager Lynch and TJ McCarthy and I, we had a meeting this morning with the utility representatives. And from that meeting, there could be some stimulus money for this digital equipment to assist. So if we refer the motion to the manager, I think the manager can investigate it further, and hopefully we will come up with some funding to assist the elderly with the installation. Okay? So,
the younger people are tech savvy these days. Elderly are not. They don't even know how to turn a computer on. You know, they need the help. And unfortunately, I can't help all the elderly.
yeah.
And they need the help, and all I care about is the elderly. Like I said, the younger people of these days are very tech savvy. I'm sure they know how to put coaxial into adapter boxes. It's just the elderly that need the help. They don't know how to do it. And I thank you again.
Okay. Councilor Mercy, did you want to...
And so you know what? Here we have a case of a woman that went through this not once but twice. Now her problem is solved for her aunts. But even so, she asked you to file a motion to come up because she's concerned that this might be happening to other people. So I commend you for taking your time to be here, even though you're all set, but thinking of other people as well. And so, yeah, there are probably people out there that just don't know. They're at their wits' end, and they don't have someone as nice as a niece like you that can help them. So yes, that's a good motion. Thank you.
Mr. Manager, do you want to just...
Just so I understand the exact, is this in response to the boxes you're speaking of, the ones in response to the letter from Comcast dated September 14th? It's just been the last couple of weeks?
Yes.
Okay.
And
okay.
I had them, I went online, I had them mail me the equipment, and, they said for a small minimal charge, we'll come in and do it. But
Right.
these people don't have 2 nickels to rub, never mind a charge.
Right.
So, like I said,
Okay.
I did what I could for my family, but I thought about it, somebody's got to help the rest
Okay,
of the elderly.
we'll see what we can do to put something together.
Thank you very much.
Councilor Kazanjian?
Thank you, Mayor. If we cannot come up with any stimulus money, maybe we can get a subcommittee together, which I think Councilor Bill Martin chairs that, if I'm not mistaken, and have a representative from Comcast and see if we can come up with some type of program where they can work with the elderly and not charge them whatsoever. I'm sure we can come up with some type of program to work with them.
I think if we refer it to the manager and be the liaison...
Right, if we can
with
refer it to the
Comcast.
manager, hopefully come up with some stimulus
Yes.
money to
Right.
come up with a program, but if we can't, then later on, it will come up with...
And the representative from Comcast this morning, and National Grid and Verizon, they were extremely cooperative. We're trying to address this double pole issue. Very extremely cooperative, and they are going to look into to see if there's funding there. So, Councilor Martin?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I think it makes sense to see what the manager can come up with, and if need be, we will schedule a meeting. I'm going to file a motion to schedule a meeting of that subcommittee anyway. Just wanted to alert members of the council that there are council appointees to the LTC board. I believe those appointments were for 2-year terms. The LTC annual meeting is in November, so we should entertain reappointments, and some people may be interested, others not. But if members of the public, are interested in serving on the LTC board as a council appointee, or if other members of the council know of people so interested, I think now is the time for them to get information in either to the mayor's office or to the manager's office, and we'll, I think, in the subcommittee, try to sort that out and bring back some recommendations to the full council, but before the LTC annual meeting in November.
Okay, so you're going to file a motion?
I'll file a motion,
Okay.
but just so people can start thinking about it, get it, in their heads.
Councilor Broderick?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Relative to what Councilor Martin was just referring to, the reappointments or appointments, my memory is that the manager has some appointments, the council does, and then there's at-large members from LTC membership. Do we have any requirements, or are we looking for particular areas for application, whether it's city employees or local businesses or the institutions and things like that? I don't recall exactly, but I don't need the answer tonight. I'm just going forward if we could maybe get some information on that, because I remember we talked about some type of,
Sure.
shaping of the body.
What happened the last time, I think the city department heads that work for the manager, for the most part, the manager's appointees, The city council appointees were, a representative from UMass Lowell, representative from Middlesex, representative, from the Southeast Asian community, representative from one of the hospitals. Some of those, someone from the Lowell plan. And some of those people have been very active on the board, others less so. But I don't think there's any requirement that we stick with that formula.
Right.
I think it's really up to the will of the council, and so if folks are interested in serving, I think they should make it known, and they'll be given every consideration.
Okay. Any other discussion on the motion that I presented? If none, all in favor of the motion, signify by saying aye. Any opposed? The motion carries. The unanswered, non-responsive motion, Council Rita Mercer, request manager provide update on placement bollards at Clark on Central Street, seconded by Council Lindsay. On the motion.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Through you to the city manager. The motion speaks for itself. I just need an update as to, I don't want to forget about it. Sometimes we make motions and we assume it's going to get done, and then we're so done busy with everything else that we kind of forget about it. And I happened to be going by the other day, and I was wondering what was happening with that.
That's the donation that we received for that purpose.
That's right.
And that is moving forward to have those installed. They were doing work on the clock just recently, doing some painting and doing some adjustments to it, and then the next step will be put the bollards in.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Before we adjourn, yes, Council Broderick.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Just before we adjourn, just to notify everybody on the council and the public, we've set up an auditor oversight subcommittee meeting relative to what came up tonight for September 29th at 6 p.m. down here in the chambers. That's next Tuesday night. In the personnel subcommittee following at 6:30 to begin the evaluation of the city manager. And both meetings should be fairly brief, I think, to try to maybe come up with a determination as to what evaluation process to use, what forms to use, and then set something up from there. But so next Tuesday night, 6 o'clock, auditor oversight, and 6:30 for the personnel subcommittee. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Council Rita Mercer.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Before we adjourn, if I can have permission to speak on behalf of Arnie and Alice Muscovich, the Merrimack Valley chapter of Parents of Murdered Children will have a National Day of Remembrance on the steps of City Hall, September 25th, Friday, from 6 to 7:30. If you would like your loved one's name read, please call Arnie with the name by September 23rd, and his phone number is 978-452-5858. He said that I could say his number. Thank you for letting me say that. Thank you.
I believe we all received an invitation to the ribbon cutting ceremony at Target, and I just want to, Mr. Manager, that is a council meeting, and the ribbon cutting is at 5 p.m., so we're running kind of tight, so. Yes.
And Mr. Mayor, I think they were telling me that this store will officially open on October 11th. Now, that's what they told me, but they may be here at another meeting,
But
probably.
that will be a council meeting agenda for that night, October 6th. So I don't know if there's any way we could change the date or move the time back or whatever, because we get there at 5, we have to be down here for at least 10 past 6. It's going to be kind of tight, so. Council Miller?
Just to follow up on that, if I could, Mr. Mayor, October 6th is the first day of the new schedule of the council. We're going to be going back on weekly meetings, so just to let the viewing audience know, beginning October 6th.
Right.
So, thank you.
Before we adjourn, I would like to recognize, I believe, the students from UMass Lowell. Is that so? Let's give them a round of applause for attending our meeting. We appreciate you being here, and thank you. And with that said, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn by Council Mercier, seconded by Council Elliott. Thank you.